Everyone ready? I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please. Mrs. Clark.
Trustee Bertelson,
Here.
Trustee Black,
Here.
Trustee D,
Here.
Trustee Lucine,
Excused.
Trustee Moran,
Here.
Trustee Neal,
Here.
Trustee Reinhardt,
Here.
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome to the February 24th Bozeman School District School Board meeting. Thank you for joining us. Public comment will be taken throughout the meeting on agenda and non-agenda items. During public comment, no member of the public will be allowed to comment on contested cases, other adjudicative proceedings, or personnel matters. The public portions of this board meeting are being recorded in accordance with District Policy 1420 and Section 2-3-214 MCA. By remaining in this meeting, all participants and attendees acknowledge they may appear on the recording, which will be placed on the school district's website for a minimum of 1 year from today. Further instructions about participating will be provided throughout the meeting. Before we engage in the business of the board, I would like to share with all the core purpose of the Bozeman School District, which can be found on the back of our nameplates. It reads, Bozeman Public Schools exists to ensure high-level learning for all students. We will now open with agenda item 2.3, recognition and awards. 2.3.1, Montana Association of Secondary School Principals, Principal of the Year, Dr. King, and Principal Schnee. Welcome.
Erica Schnee was nominated for and won the Montana Association of Secondary School Principal of the Year Award due to her exceptional leadership and attentiveness to her many responsibilities. As a servant leader, she prioritizes her students and staff above all else. Her effectiveness as a high school principal stems from the career path she followed, which led to in-depth understanding of comprehensive high school operations. She began as a respected social studies teacher, where she developed deep pedagogical knowledge and genuine connection with students. Her time as Dean of Students honed her ability to balance discipline with empathy, while her role as an assistant principal, particularly her mastery of complex master scheduling, gave her crucial insights into school-wide systems. These varied experiences didn't merely prepare Erica for principalship, they shaped her holistic understanding of education from multiple perspectives, allowing her to make decisions that consider impacts at every level. What truly elevates Erica from excellence to exceptional leadership are her remarkable character traits. Her profound caring for each student and staff member creates an environment where people feel valued. Her compassion enables her to respond to challenges with both firmness and understanding. Erica's extraordinary work ethic, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to Gallatin High School's success, sets a standard throughout the building. Her deeply reflective nature means she continuously evaluates programs and approaches, making very thoughtful adjustments rather than reactive changes. Perhaps most impressive is how she combines sharp intelligence with emotional awareness, allowing her to navigate complex educational issues while maintaining genuine human connection. Erica Schnee demonstrates remarkable steadiness and thoughtfulness when leading change initiatives with both determination and empathy. She is skillfully managing the challenging transition to a block schedule, embedded teacher collaboration time, intervention periods, and a revamped special education model, providing stability for students, staff, and families throughout. There's so many things I wanted to say, I had to write them all down. So. Her commitment to all students is evident in her resource allocation for struggling learners and her collaboration with staff to support multilingual students. She ensures every student receives appropriate instruction and attention within the school community. Most notably, Erica Schnee has built a truly welcoming and inclusive school environment where every student feels valued and represented. She and her education team have created a vibrant school culture from scratch during Gallatin High School's early years, an impressive achievement that required vision, persistence, and genuine care for the community. I will never forget how the first graduates of Gallatin High School, literally a handful of very special, a very handful of students who were graduating early. Do you remember this? They enjoyed the thoughtfulness of a very special graduation ceremony a la Principal Schnee. And she spent like the night before rigging a balloon drop, and there were raptor colors and the whole everything. And then fast forward to the graduation ceremony last year with students conveying so many Swiftie bracelets to Erica that they covered both her arms. Through her deliberate and ongoing efforts to recognize diverse teams, clubs, and student achievements, she has established traditions and practices that will define Gallatin High School's identity for years to come. The MASSP Principal of the Year Award is so well deserved. Congratulations, Erica.
Thank you. That was really, really nice.
I would agree, very well deserved. Trustee questions for Principal Schnee? Sandy?
Well, I know that you surround yourself with incredible people that help you do the job that you do, but you lead that. And so I am so proud to have all the incredible leaders that we have in our district, and you are one of them and I didn't know you when you were a teacher, but the first time you came into my lens was the sticky notes across the back of the boardroom as you planned for a year the opening of Gallatin High. And from then on, I watched you complete that methodically, thoughtfully, with a lot of input, and move on to opening a high school during the middle of COVID. And I will say that is challenging enough, but to maintain, and that was the one thing that I was just in awe of, is how you maintained the culture that you thought was so important, that the kids were working on and you believed in throughout that time, and came out on the other side to have this school that when I walk into Gallatin High, and all our schools really, frankly, but Gallatin High, the feeling is it's so kid-centered. It's the kids that are first when it comes to serving them, and I'm so proud to have you part of the team in BSD 7. So thank you for everything you've done.
Lauren?
I was going to say something very similar to Sandy. You also came into my life during the high school transition committee, and I was in awe of your energy and everything you were thinking about, from chair color to just what would the feel be. And after that transition committee, you still reached out to me to make sure that the community, like just for feelers of the community, and I could tell that your whole heart was in it. And like Sandy said, you have an amazing team. We're so lucky here with our admin, and I know you build each other up and help each other a ton. But as your liaison, being in the school, there are 1,500 kids in there, and it seems like you have made a connection with all of them when we walk through the halls together. And that is really important and really cool, because we want to keep the kids in the center of the room. So thank you for your dedication, and I think this award was much deserved. Thank you.
Kevin?
Well, mostly I just want to say congratulations. They've both said some great things. The transition committee was not the first time we met, so it might have been in high school, so to go back a little bit further. But this is very well deserving. Appreciate everything that you do. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Erica. I'm super happy for you. Just real quick, in 1999, 1992 when the Hawks were playing in the state championship basketball tournament. You wore the Hawk mascot in the championship game, and I wore the Hawk mascot in the semifinal game. So you and I will always have that.
We could break him out again on Thursday or Friday if you want.
But I remember you talking in 2018 and 19 about you were excited to build culture at a new building, and that sounded good. I didn't really know what it meant, but it sounded good. And then when the building was there and 1 and 2 years in, I fully realized what it means to build culture. And those index cards along the back of the boardroom, each of those was a task that had to be completed in order for Gallatin High School to successfully open. And you systematically took those index cards down, and when you walk in to that building, that you understand what it's like to see a place that has a culture that's built 5 years in. You've done a great job, well deserved. Really proud of you and happy for you. So thanks for everything that you do for our kids. Leanna.
I don't want to repeat all the wonderful things that I agree with that everyone is saying here. I just want to add that I have so much gratitude for you for how hard you work and everything that you do for our community and for the kids at GHS. So just bottom of my heart, thanks so much.
Trustee Moran.
So my first encounter with you was in, I think, 2015 on the we were on the Worthy Student Committee together. And I was so impressed with your organizational skills, your enthusiasm, and you followed the rules. There was a teacher who really wanted a kid to get a Worthy Student recipient, and you were like, no. They have too many absences. They don't have the GPA, and you held your ground. I was thoroughly impressed. But you knew all these kids. You were so passionate about them. And then the next couple of years, you continued to be on that committee with us and showed us great leadership. And the first year that you left the Worthy Student Committee because you took over at Gallatin High School, we lost a big leader. And we had to reevaluate our process, and it was a lot of fun to work with you. And you accepted the challenge at Gallatin High School, and the culture that they have there is amazing. You love these students. And the Taylor Swift bracelets at graduation last year. It was my first time attending a Gallatin High School graduation. And you stood on that stage with so much pride and just embarked in bracelets, and it was amazing. And the relationship that you have with Mr. Mills is fantastic as well. So thank you. Continue to do what you're doing. It is my honor to move that the Board of Trustees adopt the following resolution. Whereas the MASS Principal of the Year Award recognizes outstanding secondary principals who have succeeded in providing high-quality learning opportunities for students, as well as demonstrating exemplary contributions to the profession. An eligible candidate must have been an active principal for at least 3 consecutive years, and whereas the recipient must have professional evidence of student performance through compiled data testing, show a strong commitment to the principalship through active membership in professional associations, be respected by students, colleagues, parents, and the community at large, assume an active role in their community, distinguishing themselves as a leader in civic, religious, or humanitarian activities, show strong educational leadership by setting high expectations for school staff and students, and maintain an orderly, purposeful learning environment. And whereas Erica Shanae, principal of Gallatin High School, was nominated for and subsequently granted the MASSP Principal of the Year Award because she is an outstanding servant leader who has built a welcoming and inclusive school culture and puts her students and staff first. And whereas the awards ceremony was held on January 27th at the SAM Principals Conference in Helena, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees recognize and honor Gallatin High Principal Erica Shanae for this award.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Moran, seconded by Trustee D. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Erica. Yeah. 2.3.2 Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. Mr. Helvik? Yes, Mr. Helvik.
All right, so it's my honor and privilege to introduce Miles McGeehan here. I know many of you have known and worked with or had students who have gone through his science program here. So I'm going to tell a little story. This is my 6th year at Bozeman High, and it was about the same time, if you can rewind 6 years ago, there was a lot going on. And over the course of the time I've worked with Miles, we were going into transition to 2 schools. And it was right when Miles was first elected or being recognized that Bozeman High is becoming the department leader, a position he's held for the last several years. And I think it's important to recognize that his colleagues thought very highly of him, and he kind of took the reins as we were transitioning to 2 schools. It was during this time when I noticed something about Miles. If you don't know Mr. McGeehan, he might be one of the most dialed people I've ever met. And I mean that as a term of endearment. I'm also a science teacher. And watching him teach is truly phenomenal. The guy, you know, every year he takes kids to Costa Rica on field trips. He's our AP science teacher, biology teacher. But when it came time when they were collecting nominations for this award, I remember thinking to myself, there's no one more deserving than Miles McGeehan, because I remember going up to his room, and I hate to even talk about this time period, but it was at one point during the pandemic, and it was a rough time for teachers, students, and families, but we had like 3 different tracks going on in our schools. We had the track A, the track B, and the track C. And I remember walking into this, so this was a couple years into it, Mr. McGeehan's room, and it was like command center for Air Force One. He had on like headsets, and he's teaching kids at home on their computers, and he's teaching kids simultaneously in the classroom. And I just remember thinking that's truly amazing to persevere through all that and to watch him do it, and hence why I thought he was worthy of a nomination. And just so you know, this award is something only 112 teachers in the whole United States get recognized for every year. So that's saying something. And I think it's most importantly, Mr. McGeehan has a reputation for being like a tough teacher in a good way, but he cares about kids first and foremost. And I've worked with him on several. He can teach kids from anywhere, any place. He can teach them science or anything, and life lessons for that matter. And so it's my honor to recognize Miles McGeehan for the Presidential Award of Excellence in Mathematics and Science.
Congratulations, Mr. McGeehan. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Any trustee questions for Miles? Leanna.
Well, congratulations. I know what a big honor this is, and what I'm curious about in this process, like what was there a favorite part of this process, or was it just simply you were nominated? Did you have any other thing that you had to submit or do for this?
Is it live? Yeah. Yes, so once nominated, you have to capture a 30-minute video of your classroom and then write basically like a master's thesis on the 30-minute experience, answering really rigorous questions for the award. And so when you first throw ideas on paper, it's about 50 pages in length, but then you have to edit it down to about 20 pages. So I thought my master's thesis was easier. But the process is really great with respect to reflection on teaching practices and best practices, both for pedagogy and student learning with culture and relationships and everything like that. So it was a fun challenge, but a very rigorous process. So.
Tanya.
Well, congratulations. I'm really excited to have somebody in the district win this award, and so pleased that it's you. So thank you very much. Two questions. The first one, is there something that you would like the Board of Trustees to know? You know, you win an award like this, you spend the time to put in the application and do all the work. We want to give you a voice, at least I want to give you a voice. So I'd like to hear if there's anything that we as a board need to be aware of from your seat. And then secondly, there's a lot of students in the room here. Do you have anything that you could give to them about why you chose teaching as a profession and either something they should consider or why they might not?
Sure. So first question, I just feel fortunate to work here in this great community. So I think it's like a three-legged stool. First and foremost, we have amazing students supported by amazing parents. And so I've worked in many districts in different states and so forth. And I think this is, as some of my colleagues have coined it, like a hamlet to work in, just a really amazing community. Coupled with great staff to work with and great administration that provides us resources. We can be a squeaky wheel, I know, and they can support us in great ways. So I'm just thankful to have that opportunity here. So with respect to students in the room, I found my calling for teaching in two ways. One, there was a TV show when I grew up called Growing Pains, and Michael Seaver becomes a teacher, and that planted the seed for me. And then I worked as a summer camp counselor in college and really enjoyed working with adolescents. So I returned back to college at Penn State and decided to add a second degree in secondary science education, coupled with my early passion for biology. So a lot of hard work doing 2 degrees simultaneously, but feel like it really well prepared me for both the academic and the rigors and the fun of the classroom. So.
Trustee Black.
All right, well, congratulations, Miles, on this award. This is amazing and great job. I would just say that the only thing I would have is that unfortunately, when my daughter had your class, it was the COVID year, so she didn't really get the full experience of your true AP biology class, but I know that helped her move along in what she wanted to do long term. And then also I know my nephew, I think, refers to you as the GOAT, so so high praise from a couple people, and he just got into medical school, so kind of help. I think shows me that, I mean, those are just 2 people that I know of, and I'm sure there was many more that you've set up and inspired people as far as learning in these fields, in the science field. So appreciate what you do. I've seen it firsthand. So you do really great things in the classroom. So thank you very much, and congratulations on this award. I move that the Board of Trustees adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching in the highest recognition that kindergarten through 12th grade mathematics or science teacher may receive for outstanding teaching in the United States, and whereas the PAE-MST program administered by the National Science Foundation on behalf of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy recognizes outstanding teachers for their contributions to the teaching and learning of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and whereas awardees serve as models for their colleagues and inspiration to their communities and leaders in improvement of mathematics and science education, and whereas Bozeman High School teacher Miles McGeehan received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching based on his deep content knowledge and exemplary pedagogical skills that result in improved student learning. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Trustees recognize and honor Miles McGeehan for his commitment to his students and content area.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Black, seconded by Trustee Wilson. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Miles. 2.3.3 Montana Thespian Recognition. Lila Michael. Hi, Lila. welcome. Thanks for coming. Yeah, have a seat if you don't mind. And yes, yes, please bring your kids with you. And if you could please hit the green button so that mic turns on, and then everyone come forward so we can see you all. Don't hide behind the columns. You can come even a little more forward if you would like to.
Please.
There we are.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. These are the folks that I took to festival this year. We did Singing in the Rain in our fall production, and I think this is about half the crew and a lot of the really lovely core technical people as well. They had great success at festival, and I just wanted to share that with Bozeman and the community. They were awarded many things, but I think the best part of it was they got to go and shine and learn. Festivention is a wonderful place. They run workshops. We see shows from around the state, and there's a great sense of art and craft and camaraderie with the whole state, and it's an amazing time. These kids are exceptional. I'm very fortunate.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the Montana Thespian kids? Leona.
Right, well, congratulations to all of you. I'm wondering, what was your favorite moment in the festival? And just a few of you, if you want to just mention what that is.
Why don't you speak, Vice President?
Hi, my name is Dina Oliver, and I have been, well, this will be my second year on the Montana State Student Board for like the Thespian Festival. And last year I was a festival liaison. It was a great experience. I got some volunteer hours, but mostly I got to just meet other people who love doing theater and just be involved with running the whole festival, and that was such a wonderful experience. And then I got to run again
I saw that all of you were going to be recognized tonight, I got a cramp in my cheek again from smiling, from remembering how much Singing in the Rain was just the most delightful thing I did all year. The effort that you all put into that is just astounding, and you do it every year. I'm not taking away from previous years. So your organization is just doing amazing stuff. You are so committed to these students, and every time it surprises me at the joy that it brings to the community. So thank you all. And a couple of you did a little kick thing, a dance move where you flipped your little feet up on the side. Could you still do that, or is that something you can only do the week of a show? Because I'm still trying to figure out how you did that without falling on your butts.
Let's not, but thank you. Go watch the film when we get home. Thank you. Yes, we had. Yeah, did you flip? Yes, you. No.
Trustee Bertelsen.
All right, well, it's my honor to recommend that the Board of Trustees adopt the following resolution. Whereas Montana Thespians, an affiliate of the Educational Theater Association, strives to positively impact the lives of our youth in Montana through theater education, advocacy, networking opportunities, and community building resources. And whereas Bozeman and Gallatin High Schools participated in the Montana Thespian Festival January 23rd through January 25th of 2025 and took home several top awards. The Hawks Theater Company, Best Musical Production, Singing in the Rain. Emily Fitzpatrick of BHS, Superior Costume Design and Portfolio Presentation. Rowan Keith, BHS, Outstanding Vocal Characterization. Levi Puffle, BHS, Outstanding Solo Singing Performance. August Pust, GHS, Superior Stage Management Portfolio. Ivy Tierney, BHS, Superior Stage Management Portfolio. And Sydney Tutchell, GHS, Outstanding Dance Ensemble. And Stina Oliver was elected the new Vice President of Montana's Thespian Society. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees recognize and honor these thespians for their success.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Bertelsen, seconded by Trustee Black. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations. Thank you all for coming, and thanks to the parents as well. Thank you very much. And if you could all meet Trustee Bertelsen in the hall for a picture, that would be great. Thanks, Lila. Yeah. Had your chance. (2024-25) Wrestling State Champion and All-State Individuals. Mr. Ader, welcome.
Good evening, board members. I will introduce to you. First, we'll have Bozeman High coach Jason Brown come up, and he'll talk about his state championship wrestler. And then I'll have Nate Lazovich of Gallatin High come up, and he'll introduce the Gallatin High state placers. Come on up, Jason. And is Caitlin here? Come on down. Come on, Caitlin.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, and I appreciate the Board of Trustees being able to have us here this evening to recognize Caitlin Thorne. It has been a pleasure to take over the Bozeman High School wrestling program, and I was really blessed with a champion here, a great opportunity in the program. But real briefly, to be able to share my fun experience with her, and it didn't dawn on me until I saw it again in the newspaper a few days ago. But at the state championship, she had 2 fingers up. She had 2 fingers up. And I was like, man, she's making peace to the crowd up there, and she's talking and saying the word peace. Well, it didn't dawn on me until later that she was actually talking about her 2 state championships, the one her sophomore year and the one her senior year. But when I meditated upon it and stuff, I says, you know, in reality, there's some symbolism in that, and it is actually the peace. And it made me think of the movie Forrest Gump. and with Lieutenant Dan out there, and he saw that big storm out there, and he jumped out in the ocean. Well, we know that the year before that Caitlin ended up taking second place. And so she had to confront that storm this year and realize that there was a lot of pressure, a lot of stress for her to be able to go out there like Lieutenant Dan and to confront those. And as a result of confronting those, she actually ended up winning the state championship this year. And I think it was actually extremely sweet for her because she finished out her senior year in wrestling exactly as she wanted. And it allows her to close that door like Lieutenant Dan did in Forrest Gump, and allows her to close that door and for her to move forward to her next stage of wrestling in college and pursuing her future there. And so for me, it's been an absolute pleasure to actually coach Caitlin, and it's been a fun year. It's hard to believe 2.5 months went by this fast, but the experience just to be with someone such as Caitlin as an individual, as a captain, as a team, just seeing her perform in school is just magic. And so I appreciate all of it, everybody recognizing her today and for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Coach Jason. We've had Caitlin here before, so we know her story. It was so rewarding to see that you achieved your goals this year, your senior year, after last year when you didn't finish where you wanted to. And I know that was a downer for you. And although second place is still pretty dang good, it's a pretty great path that you had in high school. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Lauren.
Hi, Caitlin. I'm excited to see you back. I was not able to go up to state, but I did watch you at divisionals, and I think I might have stated this last year. I think it's almost as fun to watch your mom during your wrestling matches. Her hands are up, and I was kitty cornered to her, and I kept watching down at you and looking over at her. You did an amazing job. I know you hit 100 wins end of January.
I think so, yeah.
So do you know how many career wins did you end up having, or high school wins by the end of state? Do you know?
No, I'm not really sure.
All right, a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really impressed. I'm really proud of you. And will you also tell the board where you're going to college next year, just what your plans are?
Yeah. So next year, I'm planning on going to Ottawa University. It's not in Canada, it's in Kansas. Everyone always thinks it's in Canada. And I'm just planning on going there to get an education and wrestle there. I'm hoping to kind of go into like an exercise science there. So, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. How was your process? Did you visit multiple schools, or what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was like stressful, I guess, just trying to like figure it out and have everyone asking me all the time. But I was able to go and visit a few schools around the states and just kind of eliminate, just put pros and cons for all the schools and just slowly but surely eliminate to find the one.
How many did you visit, and when did that start?
I started visiting end of my junior year, and I visited probably like 5 or 6, I think.
That's great. Is Ottawa Division I, or what is?
No, it's NAIA.
NAIA.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Trustee Black.
Caitlin, congratulations. I don't get on Instagram very much, but I saw your dad. It looked like, and parents were going back and forth between, or were watching you and then watching the swim meet on the computer.
Yeah.
So streaming, so double duty there, not being
Yes.
able to play in the same spot, but you've had a great career at Bozeman. It sounds like you said exercise science or something like that. Are there classes that you took at Bozeman High that kind of led you down that path or created that interest?
No, well, none that like specifically led me to exercise science. It was more just kind of focusing on physical therapy. I mean, this year definitely sparked it. I got injured at nationals in July, so I had like a long recovery from there, and just kind of seeing like the process, being able to help athletes out with that, and just being able to like be in that field, like kind of sparked interest in that.
Well, congratulations. We're honoring both schools. So we're gonna now bring up the Gallatin team. So please don't go anywhere because we
Okay.
want to bring you back up for the actual reading of the award.
Okay.
So thank you very much,
Thank you.
Coach, and congratulations, Caitlin. Coach Laz.
Hey, just get in line by your YouTube first, then juniors, then seniors. Thanks for having us. So I'm going to talk about the sophomores first. So this is Ryder Crawford. He is a sophomore. He's a really, really good wrestler. He had a great sophomore year. Last year he was injured. He would no doubt have been a state placer last year as a freshman. He had a season-ending injury, and he's had multiple knee injuries, knee surgeries, and he's basically, though, like, made a full recovery. And at the state tournament, he was in a really tough weight class. There was, I mean, I don't know. You guys probably don't know the names, so I'm not gonna throw them out there. But anyway, there's a really good flathead kid that it was like one of our most exciting matches of the tournament, like one of the best wrestled matches. And Ryder ended up beating this kid to get into the semifinals. Then he lost to a kid that he had beat, which was kind of heartbreaking. Then he beat a returning, like, multiple time state placer coming back. And then he ended up in a barn burner with the kid that he beat to get into the semis for third. But they're two of the top kids in Montana. But anyway, Ryder is like really fun to watch and an amazing competitor, and just had a heck of a year and a state tournament. So we're excited we have him back for 2 years. Next is John Jackson. John is a sophomore as well, and he had the same situation last year. He had a season-ending injury, didn't get to compete actually like January on, and put a ton of time in, and then this year was able to place at the state tournament, which is pretty incredible. He was also at a really, really tough weight. He wrestled 144 pounds. Ryder was at 132 pounds. John was at 144 pounds. His weight was super deep in terms of how many kids were at the weight class that were really tough. He also had like one of our best matches at the state tournament. He was wrestling a kid from Belgrade that this kid had been in the finals at multiple tournaments throughout the year. John had kind of gone back and forth with him, but he ended up beating the kid like 17-3, major decision to him, which was an amazing match, like one of the coolest matches. And just the fact that he was able to put a performance like that together in order to place the state tournament, that was they call it the blood round. Some things in wrestling are like, I don't know if they need to call it the blood round, but that's what they call it, because it's like there could be blood for the win or whatever. But anyway, John just had an awesome season, great state tournament. And John's also academic all-state and does a great job in the classroom, and has a really bright future as well. Next up is Carson Shaw. Carson is a junior. He had like a fantastic season. Beat a lot of really good kids. He won, I think, 30 matches or right around that. He just had an amazing season. He ended up taking 5th place at state, but that was kind of like, it was a cool story. He broke his nose. And so this match he broke his nose in, his nose like literally was over here. And this trainer was awesome. She just grabbed it, and as she was putting it in place, she's like, this is gonna hurt. And she moved it like, it wasn't like 1, 2, 3. She just moved the nose back. And Carson had broke the nose, so his dad had ordered him a mask. So he had not worn it yet though. So, but the nose, I mean, I can't really do it justice how far over it was. I would say like a good 1.5 inches to the right side of his face. But he totally toughed it out, put the mask on, which kind of like screwed up his visibility, and ended up wrestling through multiple more matches. was not very, I don't think he's been comfortable since. But he did wrestle a great state tournament, ended up taking 5th place, and at a very tough weight with a significant injury. So I was like really, really proud of Carson. Carson's also an academic all-state kid and like tremendous student and tremendous athlete. So he's got a really bright future for next year. JD McWalter, he's our heavyweight. He wrestled to a 3rd place finish at the state tournament, which was awesome. At state, for those of you who haven't been there, there's like, I don't know, I think they lie about the numbers just to try and build it up, but I think there are like around 8,000 people there usually. And the heavyweights are always going at the end of the sessions. So JD's wrestling this match and the sessions ended, so it's just he and this other guy. And I think it was the first one Butte? Yeah, so we're wrestling Butte. Butte does a Butte chant. The whole Butte crowd just chant. They're like, Butte, Butte, Butte. And everybody hates him. But it's kind of cool, and we like it. But they taunt you. They yell at, like, not us, but they yell at our crowd. And our crowd is, like, you know, I would say pretty good. So JD's wrestling this kid, and he's down. He's losing the match. And Butte is chanting Butte. And so, like, right at the end of the match, JD throws this kid and pins him. And it was awesome. I mean, it was like the whole place went nuts. And it's just those two, which doesn't happen any other time in the tournament because, like, the finals are going on. It's like A, AA, B, C, girls, whatever. So that match happens. Then it's like the next session, same thing. He's wrestling the Sentinel kid. Sentinel doesn't have a crowd, but he's wrestling the Sentinel kid. And it's like, I would say more dramatic. It's like the very end of the match. He's got like 10 seconds left. He's losing. He's got to throw this kid, and he chucks him. And JD's a freak. Like, he can do the splits. He can do a backflip. He can do all kinds of stuff for a guy who weighs 260 pounds. But anyway, he ends up throwing this kid and pinning him. And then the last kid, which is crazy, but it's to take 3rd place, he's like just wanting the drama because he could have just thrown him way earlier, but he like makes it dramatic and does kind of the same thing. So the amount of people that were talking about JD, it was pretty crazy. Like, just a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. I think more than anyone else in the arena. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, he's going to be a senior, and he and Carson we look forward to them being seniors next year. They both do a great job. Braden Shaw is senior. He took 6th place at state. He's like 180 pounds soaking wet, and he wrestled 190. Kids there are huge. He was not for that weight and was able to really fight hard and do a great job. Braden is like great student. He's an academic all-state kid. I don't know, he's got a 4-point something or other. Takes all AP courses. He's probably going to go to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So you're going to probably. I don't know if that's solidified yet, but he, as far as wrestling is concerned, he's like the perfect role model for a kid, like super resilient, does everything right, works really hard in the room. He's just like a great role model, does everything right outside of, you know, like in public. He's just, you know, model citizen. And then, I can't say enough about him and how much he's meant to our program over the last 3 years. So he's going to be truly missed. And then lastly, I got Cooper McGovern. He's a senior as well. He's a 2-time state placer. He is like really, really tough, mentally, physically. He's fought through a ton of injuries, done an outstanding job throughout his whole career at Gallatin High School. He's basically, though, like, you think about a kid that overachieves. He did it in football. He did it in wrestling. And I just think he's another role model. He's somebody that we look at and just go, man, if everybody was like these two and just worked as hard as they did, were as good at people as they are, I mean, we would be like just so pleased. Any parent would be proud. As a coach, I couldn't be more proud of him. Yeah, just so grateful to have had the opportunity to coach these guys. So that's all I got.
Great job, Coach Laz. Thank
Thanks.
you. Questions for the kids? Sandy?
I have two brothers who were state wrestlers in Salt Lake City. And I've never asked them this question. I have an idea of how they would answer, but I would love to hear how do you get into wrestling? Like what motivated you to get into the sport?
I kind of actually started out by playing football when I was younger. I had a friend on my team who had previously wrestled, and he kind of brought me into the sport starting in 6th grade. And he's kind of wrestled without me throughout my high school career, and we kind of started out together.
I got into wrestling because of my brother and my cousin. They kind of wrestled, and when I was little, I always wanted to, so I got into it.
That's what I think my brothers would say.
Roger was like 3 when he started.
I started just because my family and all my friends, well, lots of my family were really into wrestling, so, and I just got into it as well.
Wrestling kind of runs in our family too. My grandpa wrestled and coached. My dad wrestled and coached. Wrestled the D1 level and coached since before we were born. So kind of raised in the wrestling room, always rolling around.
For those of you guys who don't know, Coach Shaw back here is a biology teacher at the high school, and he's one of my assistant coaches and phenomenal pickup from Elk Grove, California. But these guys moved in 3 years ago and couldn't ask for a better family.
Lauren?
Hi, you guys. Congratulations. Like I said to Caitlin, I wasn't able to be at state, but I sat through 9 hours of divisionals, and you guys were all amazing. You all had some really tough matches and some highlights. I know I talked to Cooper after his last match. I was sitting with a dad who said, "Why do people say stand up? They're too exhausted. They can't stand up." And then we sat there looking at you, and we were like, "He has to stand up or he's going to lose." And you stood up, and I just remember my heart like dropping. I was like, how'd you do that? You guys all dig deep and leave it all out there. And I am really impressed with each of you, and just watching how you put it out on the mat, but also like Coach Laz said, I know each of you are leaders in the school and really good role models. And so thank you for that. I am glad to hear that your nose is fine. I did wonder when I saw the picture with the mask what had happened. And JD, MHSA really liked you on Instagram. There were some, but I had a few parents tell me JD was a beast at state. So it was fun to hear those stories too. And then I just have a question for the 2 seniors. Coach Laz kind of said what you'll be doing. But Braden, but Cooper, or both of you, if you just want to reflect on what you think you'll be doing next year.
I believe I'll be attending Grand Canyon University in Arizona.
Mine is to go to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott and study aerospace.
Awesome. Weston's going down to Grand Canyon also, isn't he? Awesome. That'll be fun to have somebody you know. And wonderful. Well, congratulations, you guys. You were a lot of fun to watch this season.
Kevin?
Braden, it was mentioned that you wrestled 10 to 15 pounds heavier or lighter. You're lighter than what you were wrestling. Is that because your coach is a bully and made you do that, or what went into that decision? All right, well, congratulations on all your guys' accomplishments this year.
Could we bring Caitlin back up and we will read the award? Thanks, Coach Laz. Yep. Trustee D.
Before I read this award, I also want to thank the coaches. Thank you, Coach Brown, for taking over BHS and helping with that program, and Laz, and to your coaching staff. You guys do a phenomenal job. I'm pretty sure by the end of all this, you're going to have every single kid at Gallatin High wrestling. You're good recruiters. It is my absolute honor to present this award. I move that the Board of Trustees adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Bozeman High and Gallatin High wrestling teams competed in the AA State Wrestling Meet in Billings from February 13th through the 15th, 2025. And whereas Bozeman High's Caitlin Thorne was an individual state champion and earned all-state honors. And whereas the following Gallatin High wrestlers named all-state honors by placing in the top 6 at the state tournament. Ryder Crawford, 4th place. John Jackson, 6th place. Cooper McGovern, 6th place. J.D. McWalter, 3rd place. Braden Shaw, 6th place. And Carson Shaw, 5th place. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Trustees recognize and honor individual state champion and all-state athlete Caitlin Thorne and Gallatin High all-state athletes Ryder Crawford, John Jackson, Cooper McGovern, J.D. McWalter, Braden Shaw, and Carson Shaw.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee D, seconded by Trustee Moran. Is there any public comment? JD, anything back there? You guys are really big and tall. I can't see anything. Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone for coming. Thanks to the parents for coming out as well. And if you guys could not leave quite yet and join Trustee D in the hall for a picture, that would be great. Thank you. See you, Ryan. See you, John.
I would make a motion to approve consent agenda item 3.4.1.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Black, seconded by Trustee Wilson. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 6-0.
I'd make a motion to approve elementary district consent items 3.5.1 and 3.5.2.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Black, seconded by Trustee Reinhardt. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Up next, board discussion 5.2. Is there any committee reports?
Thanks, Chair Neal. One quick committee report. The District Ongoing Collaboration Committee, DOCC, which is a committee joint with the BEA, met on February 11th. 3 agenda items. One was a legislative update and discussion. We had as you know, our president of the BEA is in the legislative session, and so he wasn't able to be there, but the rest of his leadership team was there, and we were able to walk through the trustee legislative priorities, talk about the work that Trustee Lucene is doing around parent advocacy. The other agenda items were an update on the staff well-being goal. As you recall, we took the Panorama survey for staff climate and culture in the fall, and then each of our individual school sites have been unpacking that All of that data is being collected, and it'll come together in a spring April consensus process when we can unpack how to best support our educational staff feeling overwhelmed. The third one was just emerging hot topics. Things bubble up, and we collect that list and then do some work around those agenda items for future sessions.
Thank you. Any further committee reports? Seeing none, we will move on to 5.3, legislative update. Superintendent Bertram or Mr. Waterman?
Good evening, trustees. Just two bills to update you on that we've added to our spreadsheet that you're following. The first is House Bill 507, a proposed constitutional amendment for a sales tax to fund K-12 education. Not a whole lot to add to this bill other than it's something that is very consistent with our Goal Area 3, encourages exploration of alternative tax and funding methods, requires a supermajority vote of the legislature, and then would go to the voters in November of 2025, I think is the date for that one. The other one is House Bill 483. Can you pull up that slide, Mike? This is a law to allow the 95 mills to continue generating more and more revenue, and then the additional revenue it would generate would be directed back towards equalization funds. And this is just a reminder, this is a CAMPS priority bill, MTSBA priority bill. Equalization is and we've talked about this many times in this board, Bozeman, Gallatin Valley, our area doesn't benefit as much as other school districts from guaranteed tax base or equalization efforts. This is just a quick graph we put together showing how much state subsidy comes in per every dollar of base mill levied in just a handful of school districts for 24-25. You see that the Bozeman Elementary District receives 43 cents of state money for every dollar we levy, and then Big Sky to the left doesn't receive any money for any dollars they levy, so no state subsidy there. And then all the way up, if you look down the I-90 corridor, Belgrade, Three Forks, Manhattan, increasing up to $2.25, and then you get to districts like Butte with the other AA's, $5.90 per every local dollar levied. So I guess the takeaway from it, you don't need to know those numbers. You just need to know that our district does receive benefit from equalization, but not nearly as much as other schools do. So this would be another example of money leaving Gallatin County and moving to other areas of the state. Not bad, but there's just more efficient ways for us locally to be dealing with those issues. So wanted to just bring that information to your attention. Superintendent Bertram, that was all I had. Did you have others you wanted to speak about?
Thank you. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? Welcome. Please turn the microphone on and write down your name on the clipboard and your address, please. Should be the right button.
Hi, good evening. I'm Abigail Brewer, and I live at 502 North 11th Avenue. I appreciate the work of this district. I'm a schools booster, which is why it is so strange that I also wear this other hat. Living on North 11th has become scary and unpleasant. This isn't just a little off. I see haphazard and close interactions between students and cars far too often. Look around at any other K-12 entrance. You won't see vehicle egress or cars turning in so many directions right where kids are dropped off or crossing the street. Unlike the rest of the BHS campus, no part from the North 11th entrance down to Durston has ever undergone third-party review. The violations might not have seemed like as big an issue in the Bozeman of 2010. They sure do today. In addition to a plan to make at least management changes before someone is hurt, because when it happens, it will be by design, not accident. I have sent you my and neighbors' request for small fixes that would make our lives more pleasant and bearable. I wish I were here asking for something newfangled and visionary. Instead, these are basics. Parking lots are screened as a matter of course so lights don't enter homes, as are industrial garbage cans and deliveries. It's essential courtesy. Next time you're at a grocery store or a K-12 school, Brick Breeden, or any mall, take a look where cars can turn, where pedestrians enter, and how dumpsters and deliveries are screened. Like me, once you gain the eyes to see, you won't unsee it. Because I've raised funds for plantings on 3 district campuses, I know we can fix screening on North 11th. These days, research shows even looking at trees improves test scores, while dumpsters in plain view leads to public dumping or vandalism. Please understand that when I leave this meeting, I go home to these issues. Please read what I've sent you and let me know how we can fix North 11th. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, item 7.1, Executive Cabinet Reports. 7.2, Board of Trustees Reports. Sandy.
Well, Gary, or Trustee Lucine asked me to share some things with you tonight that are happening next Wednesday. The Bozeman School Foundations has gotten involved in the grassroots movement. Okay, thank you. I don't need to read it then out loud. But I have it in an email form if you at all want to send it to parents that you know that would be really interested in coming to this nonpartisan informational meeting about pending legislation that may positively or negatively affect public education. So I'm pretty excited about this. Jen Lammers is all over this. She's really been a great partner when it comes to this. So he just wanted to make sure that I brought that up. And I also attended another guiding coalition with BHS and GHS coming together this spring to look at how things are going, identifying things that they need to work on, and moving forward with ideas of what it's going to look like next year with goals. And I just cannot tell you how incredible it is to have the 2 leaders facilitating these incredible educational leaders in this room that it's hard work, and change is hard work, and they're tackling some things that they need to solve, right? But they're determined. And the other thing that I'm always struck by is it's an incredibly safe place to say things, or to throw something out that may not be received as popular, but everyone's willing to listen to it and consider it. So I don't know. I'm really proud of both those high schools as they move through that, the leadership at the administration level, and then the teachers that are leading it, and the teachers who are on the ground in our high schools doing the work. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Morningstar School Brunchin is tomorrow morning at 9. As a reminder, we will have 5 trustees there. 3 of us will not be there. Any further trustee comments, reports? Seeing none, we will adjourn.